Hello and welcome wherever you are. In this video I am going to show you a tool that I have designed for making wooden knobs of 3 lobes, 4 lobes or 5 lobes. I consider this tool to be the simplest and the easiest to use from all the other tools that I have seen for building wooden knobs. I shall take you step by step and show you how the tool works as well as the final result. And what is even more important about this tool is that we shall adapt it so that it can take long stems, because knobs with long stems are very difficult to find in the trade, and really and truly I could not find them anywhere to buy. So let's get on with it. In the last video I showed you the tool that I had made with which one can cut wood circles like this one. Once the circle has been cut and to a certain extent it has been dressed up, the next step is to use this tool here, which will enable us to cut as many lobes as we like. And when I say that, I mean 3, 4 or 5. Anything beyond that will be a little bit unusual and possibly not what people build. This is the tool, as you can see. It is 27 centimeters long and the width of it is 12 centimeters and the thickness of it is 16 millimeters. It is just a piece of chipboard that I had lying around, and basically it is fitted with a M6 bolt, and that's all there is to it. Okay, there are some other pieces, but I shall explain to you how this tool works as we go along. The first thing to do is to align the tool so that it moves parallel to the chuck of your drill, and that's where we start. To start with, let me explain to you what this tool is made of. Here we have a circle which is 5 centimeters radius. The green circle is 40 centimeters radius and the red circle is 30 centimeters radius. This is just for guidance. What is important here is that if we want to cut a knob with let's say, to start with 3 lobes, we have to divide our circle in 3 parts, therefore 120 degrees, and we have 1, 2, 3. These radii divide the circle in 3 equal segments. The second is if we want the circle to be divided into 4 parts, which means 90 degrees segments. So we have again the first one here, always we start with this one, the second, the third and the fourth. And if we want to cut 5 lobes on our knob, then what we need to do is we need to divide it into 5 parts, and therefore we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 72 degrees and so on, multiples of 72 degrees. And this is what the tool does. It guides us to cut properly the knob. To make life easy for anybody who wants to make this, I have attached in the description 2 files. One gives you all the details you need, and the second file gives you a 1-to-1 scale, so all you have to do is print it in your printer and this whole diagram will come out to scale, and you can just glue it to a piece of wood, MDF, chipboard, whatever you want, and drill here so that you can fix an M6 bolt. Very easy, couldn't be simpler. The important thing as we start our work here is to make sure that this diameter and extended line is in parallel always with our drill bit. In other words, when the drill bit goes down here, it will meet this line. And of course, what is important is if we want to move, this must remain parallel, and that is achieved by setting the fence of our drilling table. And of course that is very easy in my case because I have got here rulers that can help me set the fence. So once the fence is set and the tool is here, I can slide it and that line will always remain immediately below the center of the drill bit. Now, as you can see, I have replaced the drill bit with a hole saw which has a diameter of 41 millimeters. And this is the one that I will use in order to cut the lobes on my circle. The parts that I need to fit on the tool before I start cutting my wooden circle are a small wooden washer, goes like that. Then my circle will go like this, a steel washer, and which when in position like so will not allow the circle to turn at all. Now, as you can see, I have secured the tool onto the table of the drilling press, and the next thing that I am going to do is to mark my circle in 5 equal points, because this is where I'm going to make the cuts. The distance between the center of the hole saw and the center of the circle here I have arranged at 45 millimeters, and that is just an arbitrary measurement. It is what I want to set it to. You can set it anywhere you like depending on the depth of the recess that you want to cut. As you can see, I have removed the hole saw so that I can make my markings. I shall use this small triangle in line with line number 1, radius number 1, which is the radius that we always use. So I shall start here and I shall make my first marking. It's this red line. I now move, I'll untighten this, and I shall move this red line to point radius 2/5. I'm sorry if my head went in the way. Just let me make sure that I am exactly where I should be with this particular marking. In fact, just to make my life a little bit easier, I shall free this. I shall put the line that I just made on the 2/5, and the next line is again from number 1 radius. There we are. Make that free and move that line to 2/5, and now we shall make our next line, which is here. Move the line to 2/5, tighten somewhat. This is our line number 4. Make this free and rotate so that it is on 2/5, and as you can see, that line now is over 5/5. So let's make this tight and make our last mark. So there we are. That's all there is to it. So now we have made 5 marks on our circle. We are parallel to the line of the chuck, and I shall fix the hole saw, and now all I have to do is make sure that the distance from the center of the hole saw to the center of the bolt here is 45 millimeters, and we are ready to secure everything. So we are there. Let's make sure that this is absolutely tight, and we are ready to start. As you can see, the knob is now made, and as a matter of calisthenics, if you wish, you can cover it either in shellac or in polyurethane to make it look a little bit better. I shall show you also two other knobs that I made earlier, and as you can see, with this tool you can make different types of knobs, different sizes of recesses and lobes. And now the next thing that I want to show you is how to prepare a long stem for the knobs. In other words, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill this stem so as to accept this jacket bolt, and the end result will be like this. But of course, in the first place, we need to drill a recess in here on the knob which will accept the long stem. The reason I want the long stems is, like I told you earlier, they are very difficult to find in the trade to buy, and therefore my need for those is for making something like this. As you can see here, I have a knob with a very long stem which is necessary for my router table fence, because when you want to access the fence and secure it, you have to go over the fence and at the back. Therefore you need a tall knob like the one that I am showing you here. The next step will be to cut a 20 millimeter hole with the Forstner bit on the underside of the knob. As you can see, I have already placed the long dowel or stem, and I need to mark it in order to find its center. But before I do that, I need to make sure that it is vertical. Okay, I shall use my tool to make 3 lines on the surface of the circle, and these 3 lines all intersect at the same point. Before I go any further, I shall apply a center punch here to make life easier when I drill. So now I have drilled my center hole on the long stem. And the next step is to fit the jacket bolt. This is the jacket bolt. As you can see, this part is for putting into wood, and this part here is an M6 bolt. The first thing to do is just put it in position here, and then I shall put 2 nuts which I shall tighten in counter rotation. So now this serves to move it vertically in line with the center of the shaft. This is the best way to make sure that the bolt goes in vertically. Now untighten and remove. And as you can see, my knob with the long stem 5 lobe knob is ready. This is the lobe that we just made, and these are the ones I had made earlier. all that remains now is to put epoxy here and secure the stem onto the knob. And that's all there is to it. And as you can see, I will repeat, you can make different types of knobs with my simple tool. You have observed that the whole process is extremely simple and easy. For next week, I have a video in which I shall show you how to make a better fence for your table saw at a relatively small cost. It's a very interesting project and I hope to see you there. In the meantime, I hope the current video inspired you for your next build. Subscribe and hit the bell. It costs you nothing, but it's the perfect fuel to keep me crafting better tools and sharper work for you.